Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Carmen Blachano. Carmen is a global hospitality executive with over 25 years of experience in the hotel, aviation, catering, and cruise industries. Academically, she also has a master's in hotel revenue management and an MBA in international business and entrepreneurship, and a bachelor's degree in management and marketing, as well as being a longtime fellow of the UK Institute of Hospitality. Dr. Valciano is also the founder of angelwings.org, a nonprofit organization whose goal is to inspire people and to help with food, clothes, and education for children and people that are less fortunate in life. In her enlightening new book, Dare to Care, Dr. Valciano provides a much-needed framework for synthesizing individual growth with organizational transformation in a way which enables people to thrive both personally and professionally, ultimately supercharging customer experience. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's jump right into this conversation with Carmen. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you so much, Yannick. Thank you for having me. It's truly a pleasure being here.
Awesome. We always like to start off by asking our guests to share a little bit about their journey, how you got from where you were to where you are today.
Well, my journey really started 25 plus years ago. It started in Bucharest, Romania, coming from a communist country. I've studied and dedicated my time to work and live abroad, which was my childhood dream. Coming from a communist country, you could imagine that I wanted something that was impossible to attain at the time. And so I prepared myself, and when the opportunity came, I took it and I joined the cruise ships. And I continued to work for over a decade within the hospitality department. And later on, rising to a guest services manager, respectively customer experience in charge. What can I tell you? 5,000 guests. We had regularly on board the ships, plus over 800 crew. You could imagine that we've seen it all, like emotional intelligence, real-time problem solving, and what truly hospitality matters. I've come to understand on a deeper level and make sense of it all on a humanistic from a humanistic perspective.
All right. So you have a book called Dare to Care. And anytime I hear the word care, I get really excited because the long-term vision for my company is to create a more caring world. And it was actually inspired from that cartoon that I used to watch when I was a little girl called the Care Bears, where they always had these little beams on their tummies and they would beam out, goodness and kindness and all of these amazing different, virtues to people to create a more caring world. So I imagine your book is something like that, probably on a higher level, I'm sure, but with the same level of tenets being pursued to ensure people are transforming the world. But could you tell us about what the book is about, maybe 2 or 3 overarching themes that the book focuses on? And does CARE in the book represent an acronym, or are you just using the word care in its truest sense and form?
It's actually a combination of both, and thank you for saying that. Actually, that cartoon you made a reference to, I don't know it, but I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah, you should.
Basically, Dare to Care is an acronym in the sense that I created a model, the CARE model, which stands for Connection, Authenticity, Reengineering, and Evolution. Basically, this book is it's about going beyond the surface level service and rethinking actually the way we engage with customers, the teams, and even ourselves. Basically, I went to the core of the service, which is the actual individual, which builds up teams, which builds up organizations, and in all of this, the process, it's very important. but most importantly, the actual purpose. How to conduct your life with purpose, how to lead with purpose, how to manage teams with purpose. That's very important, and that's basically the core of the book. The book was launched last month in a historical location in the heart of London, the Royal Victoria Patriotic Building, and the response was really overwhelming. We had guests from different organizations. The Institute of Hospitality was there present, other hospitality organizations, cruise industry as well. Representatives from the industry were there too. As well as arts, sports, and it was a major success.
All right, amazing. So I had asked if you could share with me maybe 2 or 3 overarching themes that the book covers, so our audience can get a bit of understanding at, is this book for them? Is there content in there that would help them to satisfy any needs that they may have in their organizations? I know you mentioned that at the book launch you had hospitality and the cruise ship representatives there, but would you say the book is content is primarily focused on the hospitality industry, or can people who are in the telecommunication industry or the financial industry take, snippets from this book and apply in their own organizations?
Definitely, like you mentioned as well. Indeed, this book is dedicated to individuals as well as leaders from different industries. It's very applicable to the hospitality industry. However, we have taken the actual teachings from the hospitality industry and the way customer experience is not only perceived but dealt with in a very personal and human-like atmosphere, creating connections, of meaningful connections, in a way that people find themselves and they reconnect with others within their purpose. And so basically, customer-facing industries are no longer just the hospitality industry, but we find customer experience within the banking systems, pharma industry, retail, all the industries basically, and different organizations have taken on themselves to perfect basically their customer experience and design their processes around customer experience focus orientation. So indeed, that's what the book is about. It focuses on the individual and its alignment and how important it is to be aligned with their dreams, with their passions, and with their natural inborn abilities, and work towards their professional life, in the sense that if the person basically feels very happy with themselves, they feel like they're doing the right, they've chosen the right job for themselves, that in itself will reflect within their actions and ultimately enhancing the customer experience.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, when you wrote the book, and I know you say you just did the launch, can the book be used, like, for example, as a workbook in an organization, or is it more of reading material where, you just take information from it for inspiration? Are there like practical strategies that you can apply as an individual to help you find your purpose, to help you maximize on your potential?
Yes, definitely. There are strategies that help both organizations as well as the individual. There are bullet point strategies that help people basically to question their inner self, to find their abilities, to better regain strength of their inner and mental health. And so it does reflect overall into their life. and they can definitely take the teachings over into the teams. They can connect better with their peers at work, and so it becomes a ripple effect within their communities and within the teams and organizations. And the managers can definitely use the book as well, because there are different subjects that treat the teams within the organizations, management, also different schemes and different bullet points, measures that managers can take with them within the teams, and better create that cohesion within the teammates and the employees.
Okay. So, Carmen, if you were to choose, we're basically at the end of the first half of 2025. If you were to choose one word that you would recommend organizations focus on as it relates to supercharging their customer experience for the second half of 2025, what would that one word be?
I would want to say, actually, rather than just one word, first I'd like to go to a quote that I like to use, actually.
Okay.
Consider the fact that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And so, by extension, I could say, if I think of a, appropriate word for this half of the year, would be resilience. So that goes to say that basically we have to strengthen ourselves in tough times. We have to consider what excites us, basically consider our values as the backbone of our existence, and stay focused on purpose. Yeah, that's another word that I think is very appropriate for this time of the year. Purpose, personal purpose in life. Legacy would be another word. I think we really have to encourage ourselves to work and act and encourage others as well, to go to live in the direction of our life-given purpose. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with the business I have founded with the Angel's Wings. As exactly, it's an extension of my beliefs, and I'm glad I've done that, because I'd like to transform it in a global force of compassion and into a movement.
Yeah. Brilliant. All right. Now, Carmen, if you could share with our audience one online resource, tool, website, or application that you absolutely can't live without in your business.
Well, it's hard to say. There's a number of tools actually that we're using, on a daily basis. But by far, the point of reference that I use every day in my personal as well as professional life is the Bible. That's no secret about it. And that's exactly the inspiration that I need each day. I draw the inspiration as well as the motivation from the Bible, and I try to inspire people in everything I do, to find better connecting networks. Try to encourage people to be, to act and think and convey themselves, conduct themselves in an authentic way, to re-engineer their life and work to the best of their abilities. And if you can make a difference in someone's life, whether it's your customers, whether it's your peers, whether it's someone within your community, I definitely encourage you to do so. Every small act of kindness really counts. And sometimes it doesn't take, it doesn't necessarily take monetary value, but even if you just have a word of encouragement for someone and try to lighten up someone's day, I think that's a day well lived with purpose.
Agreed. Agreed. All right, Carmen, can you also share with us one or two books that you've read? It could be a book that you read a very long time ago, or even one that you've read recently, but it has had a positive impact on your life.
Yes, in fact, C.A.R.E. By Pastor T.D. Jakes. That's a book that actually left a mark on me, in the sense that Pastor T.D. Jakes is he's a messenger of God, a prophet, if I may say, indeed, and it just inspires us and motivates us, and it teaches us to never give up, basically, to find the strength within ourselves and never give up. And by lifting ourselves, we make a difference in our communities, in our society, and encourage others to do good in the world, and spread the hope and the light of the world, to those people around us. We had seen that the conditions of our world today is, it's not in a very good shape. And we tend to look at the differences that divide us, rather than the similarities that actually, makes us more human, and makes us more, allows us to live in harmony and love and peace. And I really think that the world really needs this kind of movements today more than ever. And each person, if they're doing the right little bit of that's within their power to do, I think that it becomes a ripple effect, and of encouragement, and of inspiration to the people around.
Yeah. All right. So you have C.A.R.E. by Pastor T.D. Jakes. Could you also share with our listeners, what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something you're working on to develop yourself or your people.
At the moment, I have quite a few projects going on. I'm not sure if I've mentioned, Global Hospitality and Maritime Leaders is a platform that I've developed with courses, providing courses for different, either students, either people that are willing to develop, their personal life, or that are looking, people that are looking basically to transition from a job to another, or from a domain to another, to pivot within their careers. I also have mentoring programs, as well as coaching sessions, one-on-one or even with teams within the organizations. I do this on demand, and the programs are tailored to their needs. After we already have, a familiarity talk. Another project that I mentioned is Angels, and you mentioned as well, is Angels Wings Charity Org.
Right.
Basically, we're trying to help children and vulnerable families by providing food, clothing, education, and ultimately hope. And we believe that the future truly belongs to those that hope and trust in themselves and work hard to achieve their dreams. And we're trying to inspire young children to do just that, and encourage them, basically provide them the means, education, school supplies, to kind of overtake their regular condition, and see beyond their reality. This is what we're trying to encourage them to do. And nevertheless, the book, Dare to Care, we're trying to spread the light through this book, and words of wisdom and encouragement amongst the organizations, among the leadership within different domains of activity, trying to encourage people to lead with purpose, and enhance the human potential ultimately. By enhancing customer experience, we're enhancing the human potential, which is I believe that is what the world needs today more than ever.
Yeah. All right. So, Carmen, our listeners would have tapped into this episode and they're quite intrigued with your book, Dare to Care. They're quite intrigued with the many different initiatives that you've mentioned that you're involved in, and they would like to connect with you online. Where's the best place that they can find you online?
They can definitely find the book Dare to Care on Amazon in various areas that they are. It's being sold globally.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can contact us. They can browse the websites ghleaders.com as well as angelswings.org, or they could definitely get in touch with me at the office address office@ghleaders.com or office@angelswings.com. Either or, it's greatly appreciated. We welcome them, and yeah, we'd like to get in touch and bring them on board as angels. And if they'd like to make a difference in someone's life, in someone's world, and change someone's future by access to education or clothing or school supplies, definitely they can contribute and help us make a difference in children's lives.
All right, perfect. So we'll have the different links to the different platforms that Carmen would have just mentioned that you can access her through in the show notes of this episode. Now, before we wrap our episodes up, Carmen, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? If for any reason you get derailed or you get off track, the quote kind of helps to get you back on track. Do you have one of those?
The one I mentioned,
Mm.
and Dare to Care as well. And the day
Okay.
you plant the seed, we need to remind ourselves every now and then that the day we plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. And that should help us get ourselves through difficult times and work diligently towards our dreams, because
Mm-hmm.
dreams are possible to achieve.
All
Definitely.
right.
Dare to Care.
Okay. Dare to care. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carmen, for taking time out of your very busy schedule and coming on this podcast to share about your book, the many different initiatives that you're involved in, just trying to make the world a better place and to help each person advance to their most true potential. It was a great conversation, extremely insightful, very purposeful and targeted, and I really enjoyed our conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anik. It's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure being your guest today. And thank you. Congratulations to you as well for your activity and everything that you do, trying to make a difference in the world as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. Just want to remind our listeners that you can join our private Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community, or follow us on X at NavigatingCX. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.